to stream. There we go. Okay, so I need to take this one off, remove from stream. Okay, perfect. Okay. Ade, we can't hear you. Can you speak? You're muted. Huh? Hi. Hello, ladies. Hello. Ade, we can't hear you. Or maybe is it me? Yeah, you're muted now. So just unmute yourself like you did before and just speak up. I'm wondering if it's me or can anyone else hear him? Can y'all hear him? Can you guys hear me? Let me just pull. Can anyone hear us? Can anyone hear us? Okay, Ade, can you speak again? Can you increase your volume on the phone and then speak again? I can hear you, but not Ehe. Oh, so I'm the one that you guys cannot hear. Okay, hold on one second. You can hear me, but not him. Okay, sorry. You can hear me, but not him. Okay. Okay, I can hear you, but not Ade. Okay, Ade, they can't hear you. I can't hear you either. All right, let's just go right ahead. Hopefully Ade is able to sort his techie stuff out. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, perfect. So I can't see the names of folks who are coming on. I can see a few, but not everybody. So if I don't acknowledge you, I apologize. StreamYard won't let me sometimes. Hello, Uncle Sonny. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Okay, so I decided to do this live with Ade because I was explaining to the folks on Instagram that I feel like, men and women are just different. Like we do things very differently. I remember having a conversation with Ade. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can get him on. I remember having a conversation with Ade a couple days ago, and it was one of these things that you think was just super straightforward, and he had a completely different perspective. And I was saying to him, how come why is it that we think so differently? And at the end of the day, we still get to the same result. But he has a different light, he has a different way of processing information. And I wanted to really talk about masculine and feminine energy today. Hopefully we're able to get Ade in the studio. If we can't get him in the studio, I don't know what we're going to do. Because I really wanted to find out some of his perspectives. Ade, can you try speaking up? And, I want to see if we can hear you. Did you enable your microphone when you joined on? We can't hear you. We can't hear you, buddy. Sorry, we can't hear you. Did you enable your microphone? I can see you, but I can't hear you. Oh, okay. We can hear you. I think I can hear you now, Ade. Let's just see. I heard you a few seconds ago, Ade. Honey, go ahead and speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you now.
Fantastic. What did I miss?
What did you didn't miss anything? Okay, so I was saying to them that I feel like, there's this masculine and feminine energy that's just different. We process things so differently. I remember the conversation we're having maybe a week ago, and we're talking about how to be more likable, how to be more personable, how to be more relatable. And I was saying to you that I didn't think that it was necessary for success. And you had a different perspective, and you were saying sometimes you have to do what you have to do, especially as an entrepreneur. So I was just saying to them that sometimes there's the masculine and feminine energy is so different, and it really puts a spin on how we do business. It's very different. You do business so differently from the way that I do business. For example, you're more a go 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 kind of guy. You're on the go all the time. You make it work. For me, I need to plan. Even this live, coming together and doing this live was a struggle. I need to have my own workstation and how before, and you were just like, let's go, let's do it. And I was saying that I wanted you to kind of talk about paradigm shift. I want you to talk to I really want you to talk about how we need to think as entrepreneurs. You've had a lot of success as an entrepreneur. I'm not saying this because you're my husband, but I know a few people know this. You've had a lot of success as an entrepreneur. You're able to live this freedom-based lifestyle where you can work from anywhere in the world. You can do things on your own terms. And there's not a lot of people that are able to do that. Because I say it to my clients all the time, and the people, the women that follow me all the time, that sometimes women, we have a way of sabotaging things. Like I hear you and your partners talk about money. Y'all go straight to the point, talk about the things that are important. For us women, we're kind of all around the place sometimes. So the first question that I have for you, first up, before we even start the session, is, in your opinion, in your definition, what is a paradigm shift? We can't hear you. You're muted. Unmute yourself, honey. Yeah. We can't hear you. You're on mute. No. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Like what was going on the last time? No, you're muted. Like it has nothing to do with the mute button. I think it's just a volume thing. What did you do the last time? No. I think you should just come over. Just come over to the dining table. Let's have this conversation with my laptop. Just come over here. Let's just talk about it together. I was hoping we'd be like in different rooms, guys, but it's okay. Honey, I think you should just come. Yeah, good. That's better. Guys, I think we're in the same house. We're in the same house. I just really prefer if he was in a different space, but that's fine. I think you should just come over and have it here. Okay, so while we're waiting for Adi to make his way from where he's at to where I'm at. So I was saying that y'all know that, and I love to talk about paradigm shifts. I love to talk about mindset. This is the foundation with which I have built my business on. I talk about mindset all the time. If you've been following me for any period of time, you know that I say that 80% of the work that we do is mindset, period. Honey, please take a sit in the live studio. Let's just get this done. Say hello to Ade.
I gotta get saved from struggling with my technology.
Yes. So Ade, you know how we say that oftentimes men and women do things differently, and I've often said to you that even the way that you think is different from the way a lot of the people that I coach, and even the way that I used to think used to be different. Because when we talk women, we don't like to talk about money. There's certain subjects that we just deliberately avoid. And I see, the way that you guys just do things, just very straightforward. There's no drama. There's no, oh my gosh, what are they going to say? If I talk about my pricing, y'all just go straight to the point. So tell me, first off, in your opinion, in your world, in your definition, what is a paradigm shift?
The point you realize how you want your life, how you want to be able to live your life, and you realize where exactly you are. The shift is that point where you know where you're going to, and you've mentally moved to that point. What happens in between when you've mentally arrived there and you getting there, your physicality, is the process that happens. Your mind is already there. So all that is within you has already arrived at the result point, and you're just waiting for your physical body to be able to catch up with. So that's why you could find someone you might think that is poor, looking at him physically, but he already has a paradigm shift of a millionaire, and he acts, he talks, he behaves like one, and you're assuming, okay, but this guy doesn't have a dime in his account. What has happened is mentally he's moved. It's not everybody that is faking it. Some people have just moved mentally, and once you move mentally, the rest of your being moves with you over time. So it's that mental shift from point A to point B.
I love how you talk about mental shift. So I talk about this all the time, but I have a hard time sometimes explaining the process between when your physical being is still a point A, but your mind is already a point B. So Ade, I want you to really break it down for us. So let's say, for example, I want to have real goal of mine. I want to have $100,000 a month, but physically I'm still very, very far from there. But mentally, I'm saying to myself, I got it. It's done. I am. What can I do? What can I do to embody $100,000 a month, or embody whatever it is that I'm trying to get to?
So first of all, this is not a process of magic. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of mental work that you need to be able to get there. But take for someone who says, well, you know what, I want to easily do 100,000. And that's what I want to be able to do. Once you put yourself to the mental mindset work that is required, and your mindset gets to a point of belief. The point of belief is the time or the point where your subconscious mind accepts that as a reality. Because a lot of time your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is true, what is right, what is not right, what is lie, what is reality, what is not. So some people deceive their subconscious mind to accepting what they want as the reality. It's the point of belief. It's that point where you begin to believe that you're already what you are not, when you have just not yet arrived into it. And this thing, for some of you who are Christians, is very biblical. The concept of faith is the same concept of belief. And the concept of faith, Hebrews 11 verse 1 says is the assurance of things not seen, the conviction of things hoped for. When you're convinced that you have something that you're only hoping for, when you are sure that you can have, for someone like me, I know that money constantly and continuously flows to me in an increasing fashion. I don't have to think it because my subconscious mind knows it. So when we're talking about the manifestation ability to attract, because money constantly and continuously flows to me in an increasing fashion, I don't know what it means to be out of money, because by default it comes to me. My mindset, my paradigm shift has gone to that point, and it can be as basic as that. Some people can just say, I'm healthy, I can never be sick. Some people say, I can never be poor, I can never be broke. It's just where you are in terms of your belief, and being able to move your belief to a certain point. And there are some types of rituals that you do when you first achieve a desire, to be able to move that desire to a point where it begins to walk into something called a mindset shift or a paradigm shift for yourself.
That's amazing. I was taking down notes, and you talk about, Ade, you get to a point of belief where your subconscious mind accepts this new truth as your belief.
Fantastic.
Can you just give us the nuts and bolts of how you get to that point where you know that this is done? That you are operating in a reality that even you cannot see and nobody else around you can see, but you just know. You just have this. You call it your subconscious mind accepting it. It's a point of acceptance. We call it acceptance. So how do you get to that point of acceptance?
Fantastic. So first of all, the point is not a destination. The point is a journey.
Okay.
At every point in time, you get to one point, and then you dominate that point, and you move. So for everybody listening right now, you are at some point in your mindset right now. So if you're living in Canada or you're in Nigeria, you already graduated from a university, you're working in a nice place, all of that, it's a point in your mindset. Some other people are not there yet, and they hope that, they wish that they could be there. So it's a journey, it's not a destination. So it's a constant, continuous progression towards a path of desire. That's where we're going. So what was the question again, ma'am?
So who are you calling ma'am? So the question is, how do you get to that point of belief? So you're saying that this point is a journey, is not a destination, is a process.
Fantastic.
I want to get to a point of belief, the point of no return, the point where I know that I have this thing. I have it. It's in my hands. I may not be able to see it. How do I get to a point of belief?
Fantastic. Number one is desire.
Desire, okay.
It got to be something that you want so bad. What is so bad that nothing else is more important than that exact specific thing. That's number one. Number two, once you get that desire, there are three different strategies of approaching desire into reality.
Okay.
One of the approaches, visualization. Visualization is just the ability to see the end from the beginning. Permit me if I can back it up a little bit. Am I allowed to do that?
Of course. You can do whatever you want to do.
Isaiah 46 verse 10. Just the ability to see the end from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Just being able to know that, okay, this is what it will look like. So when somebody tells you, oh, well, but you're driving a Toyota, you're driving like you're driving a Mercedes-Benz. No, it's because you already see the end. The person is not seeing the physical part. They just see, you don't know that you've traveled mentally to a point that the physical part is just delaying to catch up with it.
Yeah.
That's one part of it. The other part of the visualization is one part. Visualization is a very simple process. Just set up 7 points. Like when I practice visualization, what I do is I set my alarm 6 times during the day. One of it is ringing right now. It's 9 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 a.m. 5 times, 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 6 times a day.
Yeah.
6. Yeah. And all I do is within those 6 times a day, it's only 5 minutes. I shut myself in an empty place. I find it very quiet, and I just close my eyes and I start visualizing exactly what I want. The type of life I want, the type of home that I want, the type of son that I want, the type of
wife that he wants,
the type of car that I want, the kind of lifestyle that I want, the kind of charity I want to be able to give to, the way I want to be able to live my life. For me, freedom is way important than almost anything else. Ability to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do, without questioning or asking anybody how or why. That freedom is extremely very important. So I visualize it when I use visualization as a tool for achieving the end result. For that mental shift. Visualization is one part of it. Visualization is also could be synonymous to imagination. Just being able to see something from your unseen eyes. Before anybody else could see it. It's just as far as you can see. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter. You could dream as much as you want. It's a tool. It does work. If somebody tells you dreaming doesn't work, they just shut your ability to achieve something out of this world away from you. That's one part. So other people use affirmations. Affirmations is the ability to continue to say what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. And continue to say it over and over and over and over and over again.
I apologize for cutting you off, my love, but I have a question around visualization. So I teach this stuff, so I can tell you that most of the questions that we get from women are, how practical is this stuff? So one of the things that I get oftentimes from people who talk about visualizations and practice visualizations is they have a thought in their head that they're being unrealistic. So say, yes, I set up my alarm for 9 a.m. and I go into a nice, pose, or go into a nice quiet space, and I really start to imagine, and I close my eyes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see it. I can see them. I can see the clients coming. I can see the life that I want. I can see the son that I want. I can see my husband. I can see the house, the car, and everything. Then when you're done, you get hit with these thoughts. And guys, let me know if this has happened to you. You get hit with this thought of, am I being unrealistic right now? Is this ever going to happen? Or am I just living in la la land? Because it almost feels like you get, jolted back into reality, and it's like, okay, let me go to my accounts that, I don't see the numero zeros yet. So let me go back to my life. And then you feel like this is not realistic. Let me go do something that is realistic.
Fantastic.
How do we deal with that?
Fantastic. Your worst enemy is your mind.
Yeah.
And your best friend is also your mind.
Yeah.
It's depending on how you use it. You see, that's why the foundation of paradigm shift is the mindset. That's why it's called mindset.
Yeah.
The mind is the mind of the set.
Yeah.
The mind is a critical part of all of it. So that happens to them all. Everybody doubts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I visualize things and I'm like, man, is this going to be in this lifetime or next time? But this is the thing. I'm not asking you to go visualize, put yourself in the moon, and take yourself up, put yourself in the moon. I'm saying things that you desire, that why can't you have it in life?
Yeah.
And then just add it into your routine.
Yeah.
The hour of how to be achieved, that's not
your business.
That's not your business.
Right.
Your job is just to enjoy that 5 minutes of time. Yeah. Just see yourself how you want to be able to see yourself. It makes you happier. It makes you feel better. It makes you excited. It makes you understand me. You're in that mood. Do you come to a point where you're going to be doubting it? Of course. But the practical steps when doubt comes in is you dust off doubt. You dust off doubt. So someone like me, I could just be sitting. What day was I? So we're working on a construction project in Lagos right now, and it's constantly taking money. At some point, I was just paying off money.
Badass. I remember that. I remember the story he's about to tell you. Badass. Tell them.
Not that one. This one
I had to doff my hat to him.
Huh? This one just happened 2 days ago.
No, tell them about that manifestation, that instant manifestation.
This one just happened 2 days ago.
Okay.
So this one was so minor, I didn't have to tell you, but it was so very minor. And as soon as I paid off the last vendor, I found out that my account was run significantly below. And as I was coming down from the stairs of the property, this thing was telling me, man, you've run out of cash, and you're in Lagos, and you just paid your last money paying this vendor. And the things also pushed me to the panic button. And instantly I caught it. I'm like, no, money flows to me constantly and continuously in an increasing fashion. It's me. I am Ade-Mabo. Before the end of the day today, my account will be refilled. How? I don't know.
You got refilled?
I don't know. How? I don't know. Somebody called me up maybe some few hours later and told me, oh, there's this deal that, he already cooked it up. He just wanted me to be able to take a look, and I did take a look and he filled up my account right there. Not just even him. It was like 2-3 different transactions came through that I wasn't expecting. It wasn't from anywhere. And this is not so magic. It's just I stopped the ability to doubt my ability to progress. I stopped my ability to doubt my ability to progress. I realized that doubt is the number one obstacle to my ability to move on.
Yeah. Okay, Ade, there's an interesting story that I want you to share with them, because this one, so basically he had said to me, this will happen. Watch it. It will happen. And literally it did happen. And I was so I was shaking. I was like, really? How did you make that happen? Can you share that particular
manifestation? You're gonna make me look like a magician. No.
Share that particular manifestation story.
I'll share you. So I needed a certain amount of money, and I walked up to my wife and I'm like, I need this amount of money in 3 days.
Yeah. There was a timeline, guys. There was a timeline that he needed
in 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna have that money coming to my account in 3 days.
Yeah.
And when I had a conversation with her, I didn't do anything extra. Nothing extra. But remember that before now, I built my mindset to a point of attraction. And I'm going to share you the steps that you need to do to take the mind to attraction. I've talked about visualization. It's a lot. But I built my mind to a point of attraction. So once I told that, automatically the human mind will kick in doubt, kick in fear. Fear then begins to cripple you. You start beginning to think about, oh, what if this happens? Oh, what if that happens? Oh, what if this doesn't go wrong? Some people say they are having an analytical mind. Analytical mind is a mind that puts you in a trap. I don't analyze too much, overanalyze. I don't want to overanalyze the future. The future, regardless of whatever happens, will be good for me. Regardless.
Yes. What's the scripture? What's the scripture behind that?
So
all
regardless,
things always working together for your good.
Regardless of whatever happens, it would be for my good. I already know that it will be for my good. So I don't spend too much time analyzing how, where, what, or how it will be. So as soon as I did tell her, it automatically sent a message to my subconscious mind, telling my subconscious mind that Ade needs to get something done. You find it how. And I was without absolutely no doubt. When I told her that day, without absolutely no doubt, I'm sure she was doubting. I'm like, this guy was talking.
I didn't even pay attention.
Maybe she didn't pay attention, And there was this guy that I sold some ATM. She actually owned a business that ran ATMs with the likes of the Marriott, the Sheratons, the Fairmonts in Calgary, Canada. And when we packed out that business, I just gave all the machines to a particular company to sell for me. They sold all the good ones. Though there was this three particular set of bad ones that I told them, garbage it for me, man. I don't even need this thing anymore. But the guy's like, no, Mr. Mabo, don't let us garbage it. Somebody's going to buy it. I'm talking 3-4 years ago, you know. And the guy just sent me a message exactly 3 days later and told me, Mr. Mabo, somebody says they want to buy it. This is the price they want. And the price was exactly that price of amounts that I was asking her for. And within 1 hour, we finished that transaction. I showed her and she was like blown. And I'm like, why are you blown? I knew what's going to happen. I knew what's going to happen because I told you 3 days ago. Yeah. I'm not saying this like it's you're going to start manifestation today and you're going to get those results tomorrow. Yeah. Or you're going to start manifestation. I'm saying to you today that I'm going to give you a set of tools that you would have to ritually commit
Guys,
to.
Please hold on. Can I just come in here and say that this is badass? I'm sorry. As you were speaking, do you know what I was thinking about? You woke up this morning with a wisdom tooth.
Yeah.
And you said
pain in my tooth.
He woke up with a wisdom tooth growing out. And I was in bed. I was in bed because we slept at what time? 5 a.m. last night. So, you know, we woke up at like 11 a.m. or something. So he comes and wakes me up. He's like, I need to go to the pharmacy. I'm like, well, this is the address to the pharmacy. Go, you know, we're in Lagos. I'm like, go to the pharmacy. So when I woke up, he had all this medication on the table. So I was like, dude, you have a wisdom tooth? You're taking out a wisdom tooth? That's crazy. Like, that's going to take you weeks to recover. Do you know what a wisdom tooth is? Like, that's a serious dental issue. He goes, well, not me. I was like, what do you mean not you?
That's for everybody else. That's not for me. I'm going to recover.
He goes, not me. This is going to be done in a few hours. I'm like, this man does not know what a wisdom tooth. This is something that cripples people for days, guys. Have you ever taken out a wisdom tooth before? This is something that cripples people. And then you said, this will be done in a few hours or something. Yeah, I forgot about it until you were just speaking about that. That's incredible.
It was done. So the ideology. I don't want to make this, you know, religious in any way, form, or shape.
Go ahead.
I don't want to make it religious.
It's okay. Folks who follow me or follow us know that we talk about God, so that's fine.
But this is backed up by every religion all over. The first time I stumbled into this story, it wasn't even a religious book. The first time I stumbled into this story was in a book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, the fundamentals. Then, you know, when I went back and I started studying it a little bit more, and I found that it was already well written, packaged in a book that my parents gave me when I was 3 years old that I never really read. You understand me? And I found out, this thing does work. It's not just a secular thing. You don't have to be a Christian.
You mean the Bible? You're talking about the Bible?
You don't have to be a Christian or a Muslim or to be able to make this happen. You don't have, it's a secular thing, but it's a universal principle. The principle is very simple. Focus on what you want and disfocus on what you don't want. Period. Or if you don't want it, the life is like a camera. It is when you focus your lens on, that's what you begin to see.
Yeah.
That's what you begin to. I'll give you guys an example. 7-8 years ago, I used to work, before I started working for ATB, I used to work with Oski Energy.
Yeah.
And Oski Energy gave me these crazy long hours. It was very crazy long hours. I was locked up in an office downtown Calgary, and every day I'm looking at my window and I'm saying, one day I'm going to travel the world. One day, my job is going to take me everywhere in the world. I'll be flying on planes like a bird. I will not be stuck in an office like this. And I just kept saying it to myself over and 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 over again. Within 5 years, what I started doing is taking me almost all over the world. Now people tell me you're flying too much, stay home. So the point I'm making is just what you want, focus on it, and you get it. I'm not saying you're going to start manifestation today and be able to drive the type of results that I'm driving. Or I will be able to drive the type of results that some other people are driving. You understand me? Because they have a better mindset than I do, because mindset is a journey, it's not a destination. I'm saying I'm going to give you the tools of what you need to do on a daily basis. I only give you 3 today. I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want to overwork you guys. I don't want to make you think it's something complicated. It's just a dedicated systemic habits that when you stick to those dedicated systemic habits over a period of time, the longer you stick to it, she speaks better English. The more solid it becomes.
Yeah.
The more solid it becomes.
Yeah.
Okay, the more solid your mindset becomes. It's a systemic habits. So it's like you going to the gym for 30 minutes every single day, systemically for a period of time, you'll have that six packs.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's the same thing with the mindset. It's the same thing with your spirituality. It's a consistent combination of compound effects that gives you the type of results that you're speaking. So I don't want to keep giving examples and examples and examples and examples. I told someone I could be anywhere in the world and I can live my life. If I don't work for a single day for the rest of my life, I have enough to take care of myself. And some people will be like, are you bragging? Are you that? I'm not saying that. It's not an issue of it's settled in where it needs to be settled.
Okay, so Ade, let me ask you a question. For some people who are listening right now are going, okay, how can I get there? Myself included. But wait, hold on. Before you do that, I have some questions to ask you. So you know how you talked about how some people are over analytical, overthinkers, over here, overthinkers. Show yourself, overthinkers. Show yourself. Come on, raise up your hand if you're an overthinker. How can I calm down when I feel, in and over my head? When I feel like I'm just staying there, just being an overthinker and analyzing everything, wanting to overthink everything, it's simple. Point A to point B. All you have to do is believe. All you have to do is visualize. All you have to do is see it in your mind's eye. All you have to do is to know that you have it, But sometimes we get in and over our heads and we start to think up all the worst case scenarios. What if it doesn't happen? What if people think I'm fooling myself? What if it doesn't work out? What if this and what if that? How do you get past that, the chatter that wouldn't stop? Or how do you do it?
Okay, fantastic. That's natural. That's normal. It happens to everybody. It happens to me too. So don't ever, if that happens to you, don't think you're abnormal. You're never going to get there, stuff like that. But this is the trick. The trick is to be able to catch the thinker. Every time that you start thinking, the question is always, is the thought taking you towards where you're going? Or is the thought taking you to the opposite direction of what you want?
Yeah.
Is it taking me to what I want, or is it taking me away from what I want?
Yeah.
A lot of times you're thinking and not knowing that you're thinking at all. But once you catch it, once you get a hold of the consciousness, you can redirect the thoughts of
redirect the thoughts, yeah.
Redirect the thought of the thoughts.
Redirect the energy of the thought?
Redirect it. You can reposition it to exactly the direction that you want.
Yeah.
You understand me? This is not about being rich. This is about you being able to have the life that you designed. It's not going to be the perfect life, but it will be close to what you designed it to be. So take, for example, let's say my thought is saying, oh, this thing you're about to do, there's a 95% probability you're going to fail. Everybody who's done it is going to, as soon as I catch it, I'm just going to go into one of the three methods. I'm going to start. I change it into affirmation right away. No, I'm not going to fail. It's going to work for me. If 100 people have knocked that door and the door did not open, when me, Ade-Mabo, get there and I knock on that door, it will open for me. This part, I will pass through this part. There's nothing that will be able to stop me. Inside of me is the ability to achieve. And I start saying it to myself. And I move it back from saying it back into my head. So my head now picks it and is focused on only the possibilities. I completely 100% eliminate the impossibility.
How do you do that? How do you take the affirmations and put it and yeah?
Fantastic. You see, all of life and the universe is vibration and energy. The vibration and energy that makes you think, oh, it won't work, it puts you in a more depressed, more sad, impossible mindset.
Yeah.
The vibration that it can work puts you in an excitement because you already see what the end will look like,
Yeah.
So you get a little bit more excited. So without you thinking about it, you are thinking everything. Your mind is a thinking process. It's just thinking
machine. Yeah.
That's why we have the principle of catch the thinker. Once you can catch your thoughts, regardless of whenever you are able to catch it, once you can catch it, do not at that point in time focus only on what you want. Remember,
focus on what you want.
Life is like a camera. It's a lens. It's only what you focus on is what you see, and that's what you're going to get. That's how it is. And how do you focus on it? If the thing is telling you it's not going to work, stop thinking about that right away. Start talking about what you want. Start speaking it. Start saying it. Start saying the word. Start saying it to yourself over and over. It's impossible for me to fail. It is impossible for me to fail. Even it looks like failure, it will end up being a success for me. Every path that looks like it's not going my path is going directional and working for my good. It will work for me, regardless of whatever it is. Oh, they said no man has been able to do it before. I am Ade-Mabo. I will be the first guy to be able to do it. And you just continuously and constantly and continuously. So what speaking for a few seconds at a time, it moves your energy to a certain vibration that creates excitement. But when it goes back into your mind, you stay tuned to that. And you're waiting for the next time you'll catch it when it's going negative. So the only responsibility that you do is just ability to catch your own thoughts. If you ever entertain the part that you want to analyze the situation, then you've put yourself in a lot of trouble. Analyze your situation. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? What if? The other type of analysis that is good for your mental thoughts is when you now believe that this can happen to you, you now start looking, what parts can I take? The funny part of building this is 90 out of 100 times your universe points or throws the resources around you. You will just find out that somebody is going to comment and they're going to talk about something, and then it will be related to what you're talking about, and then it would. For how many years ago, 5, 6, 7, I've been saying, I'm going to make royalty. I want to make money while I'm sleeping. I'm going to make money while I'm sleeping. I'm going to make money while I'm sleeping. And everybody said, what's this guy talking about?
But how long did it take you between when you started saying that to when you now make money residually?
And in between that process, a lot of things that happened. But the point is, I was a baby in the game of mindset at that time. So a lot of time when I walk 4 steps forward, I walk 3 steps backward. So it took me time to be able to understand and master this thing because nobody mentored me. I had to find it in a book. I had to go compare materials here and there before I found the best tools to combine together to create my own mindset theory that I now use for constantly and continuously, that now start giving me results. And I tried with very little tiny things like parking, like paying bills, like taking care of those minor things, like having toothache, minor things that I don't want to focus on it. This is what I want. Why am I thinking about it's going to take me 2 days to recover from it when I know I can recover from it in a day? So I just started recreating how I want results to be able to do it. One way is visualization. It's a very good tool. You can do it in the mornings. It always works. It's one of the best tools that you can always use. The second way is affirmations. Affirmation is constant and continuous repetition of exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Even if the whole world is saying your reality is saying the exact opposite. You're living in a basement and you're saying, I want to live in a 6-bedroom mansion. Just keep saying it. Just keep saying it. Just don't stop saying it. Keep saying it. Don't stop saying it. You never know. Say it enough, not to yourself. Start saying it to people. Start saying it to people. I started telling people, by the time I'm 40, I will never have to work for money for the rest of my life. By the time I'm 40, I will never have to work for money for the rest of my life. By the time I'm 40, I will never have to work for money for the rest of my life. Oh, by 40, I will have enough money to live my life on my terms, and I will only make money. I will only go and work for money for things that I love to do. By the time I'm 40, I'm not yet 40. So it's a constant repetition. I want to actually do this repetition with A many years ago. She was wondering what's this guy talking about, You understand? Because they come from a household of people working for, very long period of time and saving almost everything just to be able to have a basic life. You understand me? So constant continuous repetition of the same thing for the type of results that you have, And of course, there are lots more, but the third one that I'm going to share with you guys tonight is scribing. Scribing is journaling, ability to write. You cannot just say it, you need to write it down. You cannot just see it by visualization and say it by affirmation. You need to write it down. So I have a gratitude sheet that I do every single morning. Thanks to A, boost up my I don't like to write, I don't like to read, I'm not that guy. I'm just a chill guy, sit down and kind of guy, but I had to put in a lot of work into it. So visualization, what I do is I have a gratitude journal every morning. And I only put in 10 things in the gratitude journal. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. And what I'm grateful for is not usually what has happened in the past. I'm grateful for things that are yet to happen in the future. I'm already grateful.
In advance.
I'm already grateful. Oh, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that money flows to me constantly and continuously and in increasing fashion. I'm grateful that that my life is easy. Everything that I touch comes easy. I'm grateful that when I lay my hands on anything, it will prosper. I'm grateful that prosperity is on my path. I'm grateful that I'm like a man planted by the riverside whose trees blossoms in its harvest. Whose trees blossoms in harvest. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I'm writing all my gratitude in terms of what I want out of life, and I continuously and I'm writing it. You see, ability to journal, ability to scribe, it's as powerful as ability to think, visualize.
I love it.
It's as powerful. It's as powerful as the ability to affirm. You see, each one of them are extremely very powerful by itself. Then combining them together becomes like a sniper shot. It triples your growth level in your mindset in a short period of time. So when I started, I was just trying one for a long time. Now I have 7 that I do. You get it? I'm sharing 3 with you. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. With time, I share all of it. But I'm sharing 3 with you. Those 3 constantly and continuously. Go spend some time. This is the basics. You understand me? Basics. Again, focus on what you want. Eliminate what you don't want. Stop analyzing what you don't want. Forget about the what ifs and what not ifs. If you want it, focus on it. Forget about the not what ifs. And then now start visualizing it. Start affirming it. And now start writing it down in terms of journaling. If you put those combinations together, you start being able to manifest this. This happening so fast. It's as easy as I want to park, and I know it's a very good. I know that when I'm driving in, somebody will be driving out for me to park where he wants to park. And it's as easy as that. And it happens almost all the time. And my friends are thinking, is this magic? No, it's not magic. I controlled it before I left. This is how I want it to happen. Does it happen 100% of the time? Not 100%. But I can tell you 98% of the time it does. 98% of the time it does. Especially when you entertain no doubt. Entertain no fear. Entertain no limitations. When you don't entertain anything, when you just say it, you just make it happen and make it look like, you've just spoken and it's gone.
I gotta say, this is super inspiring. Super inspiring. I mean, these are things that I teach about all the time, but hearing it from your perspective is just like, oh my gosh, yes. And I wanted to hear it from your perspective, hence we're having this conversation today. I want you to talk about how to eliminate doubt. Doubt is the biggest thing for a whole lot of people. So what you're saying to them, what you're saying to us right now, we done heard it before. I talk about journaling all day, every day. People journal, people affirm, people visualize. But again, we self-sabotage with ourselves. We doubt. Like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't happen? Oh, it's never going to happen. Oh, stop kidding yourself. Oh, go back and do the regular things. How do you keep your mind focused?
Watch the thinker. It's a simple strategy. Watch the thinker. At every point in time, can you give yourself a snapshot of what you're thinking about? In a particular, so
at every point in time,
can you give yourself what you're thinking about? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it going towards a direction? And if is it going towards the direction of what you want, or is it going towards the direction of what you don't want?
Yes.
Once it goes towards the direction of what you don't want, you instantly catch it and redirect it to direction. So I woke up this morning. My birthday is December 23rd, 2020. I'm going to be 40. I booked a vacation for my family somewhere in Mexico, sometimes maybe a week or so before that time.
Yeah.
And my mind just started catching, you have to, when you're coming back from Mexico, you have to quarantine in Canada for 14 days. And, all this, if you go, then it's going to be difficult for you to get out of the country. It's going to be difficult for you to get. I'm like, nah, man. What do I want? I want to go to a vacation, and I want to come back and I want to come in healthy.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop you there. He said, "What do I want?" I talk about this all the time, but I'm just listening to you. I'm trying to get the keys. So it's very important for you to know what you want.
You have to be very clear.
Despite the pandemic, despite what's happening, what everybody else experiences, it's important for you to know and be clear on exactly what it is that you want. Yes.
And we talked about that at the beginning, said the foundation of all of this is desire. You gotta want it. What do you want? So once I identify what I want, I eliminated, is there going to be isolation? Is there going to be challenges getting out of the country? I removed all of that. Even the middle of the hardest isolation and all flights not flying, I still got out of the country with ease. So because that's what I wanted and I focused on it and it happened. And in the multiple touchdowns, multiple COVID-19 tests, I'm still coming out positive because that's what I want. That's what I've channeled my focus on. And that's what I'm telling my universe exactly what I want. It's very, very, very simple. Watch the thinker, redirect the channel of thoughts. And then when you redirect the channel of thoughts where you want it to be, focus on three of this: the ability to visualize what you want, learn from the beginning, the ability to speak what you want, and the ability to write it down, journaling.
Okay.
Well, there are 7, but I'm sharing 3 with you guys today. Once you master catching your thoughts, watching the thinker, moving it around the direction that you want it to be, then you've eliminated 80% of what you don't want and you focus now on 20% of what you want. And it's a constant and continuous repeat. At the beginning, it's tough.
Yeah.
Take baby steps. Take baby steps. Take baby steps. Take baby steps. Instead of 5 minutes, do it for 2 minutes. Instead of do it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Put in that baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step. It's the energy and the vibration that you give out that gives it direction. Even me, sometimes I don't even know how things work together for my good, but it does. I don't even think about these things. I don't think about people are thinking, oh my God, how do I do X? How do I put Y together? I'm like, okay, let's just pack our bags. Let's just go. Like,
I testify.
How do you, I'm like, what are you thinking about? When we get there, to open the door, who are they? We are coming.
Who are they?
We're about to arrive, you know.
I love it.
And you know one funny thing? Every time we show up, it happens. Some people are like, well, you're not just being realistic. Listen, there are going to be challenges in life. Your question is, are you going to override those challenges, or you're going to be one of those people who are going to cry and say, well, I had a barrier in front of me and I could not cross it. As long as it's my desire and I really do want it, then I'm willing to be able to put in the work to make it happen and make it go through it. So it's just a consistent, systematic, habitual behaviors that solidifies the mindset of someone. Again, this is not about money. This is about what you want.
What you want. What you want.
Could be, I want to be able to spend a lot of time with my family, with my son. I want us to be able to see the world together. I want us to be able to grow together. I want to be free. I've always wanted to be free. It's for me, freedom is way more important. Give me $1 billion, give me freedom. I'll pick freedom. She'll pick $1 billion.
Billion over here.
I'll pick freedom. I'll pick freedom every time. I want to be a free man.
Because I think money makes you free, dude.
So knowing that I want freedom, I just told myself, there's a certain amount of money that I need to make in a single month that makes me free, and I just manifested it.
Yeah, I love your stories of manifestation. Yes. You love listening to you, Ade. You know this, but I loved specifically when you talked about watching a thinker. I've never really thought about that before, about using that to circumvent doubt. Because sometimes we let things fester for so long.
No.
You wonder why you don't have your manifested desires, but meanwhile, you spend 90% of the time visualizing scenarios of it not working out, talking about how, what if no one signs up? What if no one buys? What if no one, is interested? So that explains why you wouldn't have what you desire, because you're spending more time putting energy into what it is that you don't want. So you talked about 3 things: so visualization, affirmations, and journaling. But you specifically talked about being clear on exactly what it is that we want, but more so having the desire, because desire is the first step to the manifestation process.
Fantastic. Next week, going to solidify watch the thinker principle with something called the principles of the silence. Principle of silence. Okay. And I will introduce that so you guys understand that a clear mind, a mind that is calm, collected, calculated, makes 100 times more better decision than a mind that is afraid, is fearful, and now I'm going to teach you how to silence that mind. Completely silence it out. I love that. Mental work of silence that. But it's a more tougher work to do than this basic foundational 3. When you understand this foundational 3, then it's easy for me to teach you guys a little bit of
watching the thinker,
which is, the mastery level, which is silencing the mind.
Yeah.
Silencing the mind is ability to control the entire universe, your universe, from the inside.
I love it.
Rather than from the outside. because a lot of people don't know. It's always the noise, the people, the everything. There's a mastery of all of that. Because then when it gets to that point, you already know without absolutely no doubt in your mind that it's impossible for you to fail.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever it is, it's possible. So when I say impossible for you to fail, I'm not talking about the end results. I'm talking about the end results. I'm not talking about the process to get to the end result. You understand me? There might be challenges here and there. It might look like failure, but at the end of the day, if that's the end result that you've focused your mind on, and that's where you're going to, whatever challenges that people might call failure in the path to get there, it's not failure. It's just testing the process. It's just watching the grounds for you. Because then, when you get there, you understand how you got there and the relation of all this journey. I'll give you guys an example. I really don't like to make it very scriptural in any point.
That's okay.
Way.
Go ahead.
But one day somebody said something to me and it stumbled my mind. I was reading something and it stumbled my mind, and it was somewhere in Genesis. It was somewhere in Genesis 39, verse 2 to 4, 2, 3, and 4, and it says Joseph was a prosperous man in the house of Potiphar. He was a servant in the house of Potiphar, and he carried prosperity with him wherever he go. And God prospered everything Potiphar did because of Joseph. This is a servant living. So those people that, he's a prime minister, he became successful when he became the prime minister. No, he was already successful before he went to prison. Inside the prison was already successful. So even when you look, he was a prisoner, this guy's a servant, this guy doesn't have anything. It's a carrier of the success. You understand me? The success is not what people see outside. It is inside. You carry it. So when I teach you the principle of silence, you carry it with you. But then you walk, they will know that this guy is successful. It's not the issue of what car is he driving, what clothes is he wearing. No, all those things are inside. It's a minor thing.
And if those are the things that you desire, those would eventually manifest. But I think there's so much focus on the outer that we miss the inside conversation.
The inside is extremely. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about another. There are 7 principles. We've talked about 3 today. We're going to talk about another 3 next time that we talk. Or we're going to talk about just one of these silence, and then we'll talk about the other 3 sometimes in the future. Well, it's nice spending time with you guys. This
Thank
1
you.
hour is
Thank you.
Really took a lot of my time.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You literally dragged me here.
We know you're a busy guy, King Chief Manifestation Officer. Thank you for spending time with us, and thank you for breaking down those. I love it. I think what I'm taking away from this, in addition to all the things that I've already known, is watching the thinker and catching those thoughts very, very early on as it starts to bud, not waiting, not festering it, not marinating in those thoughts and waiting for it to grow wings before you go, oh my gosh, it's the last day of September and I didn't get what I wanted. You are catching it on October 1st to say, no, we're not going to think this way. On October 2nd, you're saying to yourself, no, we're cutting it in the bud right as it's happening. So I really like that part of what you shared, and just the part about coming into certainty and knowing that, this is a partnership with God. Whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you're desiring for, is something that God wants you to have. I think that's important for people to realize that, to know as well. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions, any comments? I see you, Jenny, Anna, Tolu, Navin, Sharon, Catherine, Inibakun. Hello, everybody. If you're coming in from my Facebook group, it just shows Facebook users, so unfortunately I cannot see you. But does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions that we can answer? That Ade can answer? Does anybody have any questions? Any thoughts? Anything that's on your mind? How to manifest quickly, how to put deadlines and timelines to your manifestation process and actually have it come to pass, how to make out time to visualize, especially when you're a busy mom or maybe you have a 9-to-5. How do you make out time I want us to take notes, and I want us to make it a date to come back here next week, Wednesday. Jenny has a question for you, but I want you to make a note to come back here next week, Wednesday, same time next week, Wednesday. And Ade's going to be talking about watching the thinker and getting us deeper into the manifestation process. But I want us to do the work this week before next Wednesday. So when you show up next Wednesday, you'd have some experiences. I want to challenge us. Ask for something. Go into a manifestation game and ask God for something. You don't have to manifest $1 million. It doesn't have to be $10,000. It doesn't even have to be money at all. It could be anything that you want, and then come back with your lessons learned next week, Wednesday. If you have any questions around journaling, Ade talked about visualization, affirmation, and scribe. And if you have any questions specifically about any one of those things, this is our specialty. Reach out to me and I'll be able to answer your questions. So Jenny says, what would you advise someone who's swimming in regrets? Okay. Sharon says, hello, good session. Thank you, Sharon. Tolu says, how do you go from employee to freedom? Thank you, Tolu. And Jenny says, how do I effectively manifest? Okay, so let's answer the first question. What would you advise someone who is swimming in regrets?
That's very, very, that's, I have a book on that. And very soon, you guys will get a little bit more of that book. Within the year 2016 and 2019, I almost lost everything.
Yeah.
Invested in multiple $1 million businesses, and they all crumbled in a very, very, when oil prices went from 129 to less than 30, almost all crumbled. Even one of them became a big scandal.
Yes.
That almost
talk about being a drama king.
That hundreds of thousands of dollars gone. So a lot of time it was a dark place where all I did was just sit down and regret until I stumbled into a book, and the book just kind of like taught my mind. It says, Ade, is there any good thing out of all of this that came out? Can you take a pen and paper and write, is there anything good thing? First of all, I lost all those things in my 30s. It wasn't in my 50s or 60s.
Yes.
What if I happen in my 60s and I have no energy to do anymore? Man, I'm done. Okay, I'm grateful that this happened in my 30s. Oh, I'm grateful that I learned what not to do. Oh, I'm grateful I now realize the type of businesses I like and what I don't like. Because I invested in different types of things. Oh, I'm grateful this kind of business I like. Oh, I'm grateful that I can bounce back over time and I have time to be able to catch it. When I'm done, I looked at my gratitude, I looked at my regret. I'm like, well, I'll grab my gratitude, and I just started from gratitude. I started journaling the good things, I started journaling, taking a snapshot of where I am today and appreciating it, forgetting about all of my losses. Yesterday is yesterday, it's gone. We have no control on it.
Yeah.
The future is unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities. So why would I drag something that is gone into my unlimited potential and continue to allow it to weigh me down? I took all my debts, and there's a lot of debts, and I just put them down and I say, okay, I give myself this amount of time. I want to start paying them off. Every month I started paying off one after
Cheers
the
to
other.
being debt free.
You understand me? And,
sorry, you're gonna share the debt free story? Maybe not this week.
That's another day.
Another
But
story.
the point I'm making is, yes, something must have gone wrong in the past that is holding you back, but it is not. You are not a slave to the past. You have an unlimited potential of the future. Start with gratitude. What are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for today? Start saying it, start writing it, start thinking it. Then when you're done from there, you move to visualizing what you want for the future. Imagine just a perfect future that you want for yourself. Start imagining it. Start getting yourself excited. Just think about it. Again, watch the thinker, catch the thinker. Catch it every time that regret sinks in. Cut it off. You don't want it. Let it go. Focus on what you want. This is what I want. Focus. It might be 5% of what you get, but just focus on that thing. That's the work. That's all the work. What do I want? Let me focus on it. What do I want? Every time those regrets come in, catch them, cut them off, take them away. And how do you catch them? You get conscious of your thought process. You redirect it into affirmations. You start speaking what you want. You get yourself excited, send it back into your mind, and then move direction. You can do that 50 times in a day at the beginning. Over time, your mind gets to start training to a pattern of what exactly you want. You understand me? My house is like a mindset coach, because my wife does something and I'm looking at her, I'm like, babes, I won't do it that way. I'll do it this way. And she's like, I'm like, yeah. And she watched me do it and be like, oh my God, Daddy, you just blew it out of me. You understand me? I make hard things look easy. And it's not because I'm good. It's because I understood the principle that I can have abundance and unlimited in almost everything. I'm not asking to put a man in the moon, or you know what I mean? That's why it will be so hard for me to just have a basic, decent, good life. So it's not that complicated. So stop focusing on what you don't want. Catch it, drop it. Start with gratitude, and then let's redirect your attention to.
Yeah, if I could just summarize what he said for you, Jenny, I think two takeaways there will be: number one, start with gratitude, and number two, redirect your thought process. Any gratitude can solve any thoughts of regret, because really, yeah, it changes your vibrational.
Redirect it, redirect it as much as
Yeah.
redirect it as much as you can. What's the next question, babes?
So the next question is from Tolu. Oh, my Houston folks are online today. Tolu says, "How do you go from employee to freedom?"
It doesn't happen overnight. It's a chain and a process of things. Keep your job, but make it very clear within yourself that you want to be free. When you say free, it could be own your own business. It could be like me. I don't want to own any business. Do I own any business anymore? No. Maybe just title holding companies. Nothing serious. I don't want to be bothered with employees, inventory, who did this, who didn't do that. I've sourced everything out. I just want to really, really live life and enjoy every single bit of now. That's me. But some people will still say, I want to own businesses, I want to be in control. You design what you want. But the process of transitioning from employee to whatever you need to be able to do, it's a pattern of time. You understand me? And those pattern of time again goes back to what you want, being clear about it, start saying it, start writing it down, start putting it into your gratitude, start scribing it, start journaling it, start thinking it in your visualization. And over time, the how starts to drop in your subconscious mind. Forget about how, which job would I do? What business would I do? How would I get the business? Forget about all those how. You just go and have coffee. Somebody will have to say, hey, how you doing, man? This is my business. It's a business. It did 100 million last year, but this business is just, and that's how they'll throw it. My wife will tell you, people throw opportunities on my table. I'm picking the ones I want and I don't want. I'm saying, this one's too much work. This one.
Sure.
You get it? It comes. If I have 5 coffees, they'll throw me 3 opportunities in the direction that I'm looking for. I'm not joking. I'm not playing at all.
Yeah. But I think the most important thing for Tolu here that you mentioned is being specific on exactly what it is that you want. Because Tolu, not every business is equal. Not every entrepreneur is living a life of freedom. So you mentioned that you don't own any businesses. So essentially what you're trying to say, though, is you're not actively working on any business.
I'm not actively working any type of business.
You prefer residual income.
I make royalties and residual income. That's what I want. And I've been saying this for the last 7 years.
But that's because that was your choice.
That's my choice. That's what I want.
Yes.
I've been saying it. So now people just constantly and continuously throw strictly royalties and residual opportunities right in front of me. Unconsciously, the people don't have to know me. We're in Lagos. As a master, one of the biggest insurance companies in it. We just had a small conversation and all that. They did insurance coverage for my estate, against structural damage or something. And I was like, okay, would they be paying premium every month? They say yes. And the premiums, whoever did this deal will get a percentage, and they say yes. And boom, within 1 week, they already, I'm already doing royalty-based deals with them. You get it? It's as simple as that. It comes to my table. It's just always dropping. I'm picking the ones that I want because I'm attracting them at this point. Would you be able to attract at the beginning? No. The basis of the beginning is know what you want clearly, start doing the mindset work. At some point, when your subconscious mind accepts it, it will teach you the how. Be specific. I want to own a business in something related to this or something in this industry. Once you do that and you continue to do the mindset work, somebody will walk up to you, or you will read this in a book, or a CD will be dropped accidentally on your table. The universe is generous. It's never scarce. Those who think it will finish, they don't know what they are talking about. We have not even scratched the abundance that is here. The surface of the amount, the level of abundance that we're playing with. We have not even scratched it. If all of us who have everything that's in the world right now, there's still enough that's untouched. So don't worry. Do the mindset work. It will get to you with time. Just do the mindset work. Be clear what you want. Start with the 3 principles that we talked about tonight. Catch your thinking process. Redirect what you don't want away. Focus on what you want. Do that work. The universe is generous. It's always very generous. It's always very giving. It lives in a lot of abundance. And we have not even started touching that abundance of it. And by the time we're done, we would scrape as much as we want, the way that we want it, out of it.
Okay. So Jenny, I think that should have answered your second question of how do you effectively manifest. Plus, go back to the start of this class again. He broke it down into 3 principles. That's the manifestation. That's how to effectively manifest. Even if you have a timeline to it, we talk a little bit about timelines. What are the questions? Okay, so Jenny was asking what book? You read a book about regrets. What book was that? Do you remember?
Just very soon, you're gonna hear a little bit more about it.
Okay. We haven't scratched the surface. Absolutely, absolutely.
We haven't touched the surface of
Oh, that's
what's
Anna.
possible.
Anna says we haven't scratched the surface. Absolutely, I agree.
We haven't touched. If you think that you haven't touched it, if your goal is to get all the money in the world, you haven't touched it. If your goal is to be free like me, have good enough money to be able to have a really good life, you haven't touched it. You haven't even seen the world. The world is so beautiful. I've been all over the world, but I have not even seen the world. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, every continent, but we haven't even seen it yet. So there's a lot to do, and there's the universe it lives in abundance, is waiting for the takers, those who can take it. And if you're willing to be able to put the work, you will be able to get all of this in abundance of what you're saying. And this could be in relation to your health, it could be education, it could be in terms of your children, there's no limitation
There's
to
no
what you
limitation.
can
I love
redirect your mindset to. If I tell you the kind of things that I've heard would happen, or possibility of what can happen to me in terms of family, this here and there, very soon you're going to read the entire story. But
Yeah.
I just keep telling them, you don't know who you're dealing with. I am Ade-Mabo. It's impossible for me to fail.
And let me just say this: anybody can say that too. I know you're used to saying I am Ade-Mabo. When I met him, how many years ago? Almost 10 years ago, 11 years ago, he was saying I am Ade-Mabo. So I wanted to just say, to anybody who's just starting the manifestation process, you too can say, I am a Jenny, I am Tolu, I am Eno Eka, I am Ehi Ade-Mabo. This is not restricted to anybody. I think that the person who has the most bragging rights to God is the person who gets the most. But anyways, let's talk about that next week. Let's talk about worthiness next week, because you and I have a very different perspective on worthiness. And sometimes the way I see you move, I'm just like, how does he do that? How does he think that he's worthy? How does he think that he's able to do this? So let's talk about worthiness next week, and then let's get into the thinker. You're gonna teach us on Watch the Thinker next week. So guys, come on over next week on
Nice
Wednesday.
To meet you guys.
You're living like that now. Wow. Next week Wednesday at same time. Come on over next week Wednesday, and then let's continue this conversation. Yes, he's really busy. I had to snip him down for like an hour and a half, so he's gone. So I'm really grateful to everyone who joined here. I really appreciate you joining. Go ahead and share this session if it was valuable and if it was useful to you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jenny. Favorite couple. God bless you. Mwah. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have questions around journaling, of course, I have a journaling course. Go ahead. Typical Ade, he's out the door. Do you see him? Out the door. He's out the door. He's gone. He's going to do more coffee chats. If you guys have any questions, yeah, his phone has been ringing the whole time, actually. His phone has been ringing the whole time. But he's out the door now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any questions regarding visualization, I know a lot of things that he said that I'm taken away with. Again, he doesn't overthink. I just see my husband, like when he shared that manifestation story, when that thing happened last week, I was blown away. He literally said, babe, I need XYZ amount of money. I was like, okay, how are you going to get that kind of money? Don't worry, in a couple of days it will happen. I don't know if he said 3 days, but he said 3 days. In 3 days it will happen. I was just like, okay. And I just forgot about it. I didn't even think much of it. And in exactly the time that he said it was going to happen, that random call from Canada came saying, I have a buyer for your machines. Guys, he didn't even get into the details of the story. These are machines that were normally trash, okay? These are ATM machines because we used to be in an ATM business before. These are machines that were normally trash. We're looking for who would get rid of it for us, okay? These are big ATM machines. You would normally pay someone to get rid of these machines for you. So they were already trash. They were in a garage packed somewhere. And suddenly from nowhere, some guy from Montreal, Canada calls in to say, I found a buyer for your machines. Like, who still uses these machines? We lost the pin or the pin code for them. So they have some issues. And this guy is offering full price for 3 of the machines for the exact amount that he said he needed a few days before. I was blown away. I'm like, what? How did you do that? So at that point, I was like, yo, you need to come talk to my people. So guys, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Okay, Jenny says, what drives you? Oh my goodness. That's a loaded question. That's a very loaded question, Jenny. What drives me? A lot. I think I'm mainly, right now, I'm driven by the things that I didn't know when I was younger, by the things that I didn't know when I was a kid, by things I didn't know in my previous, in the previous years of my life. I grew up in a very standard, traditional family. Both my parents had successful, amazing jobs. And I was always told that there was only one way to success, and that was you get a good job, you stay there for 35 years or 40 years, you retire, you get a good pension, and you shut up. And so that was my belief, that was my truth, that was what I held on to for so many years. And then one day I just had this revolutionary moment where I just broke out in chains, and I broke out from my chains. I was like, no more, I don't have to do this. And so I think what drives me now is the fact that I think I spent maybe 20 or so years of my life believing a lie. I always say to my husband that if I was like Dara, growing up in a family with, Ade that knows so much, and myself, who I happen to know a little bit about mindset and stuff like that, there are no limits. He knows that he can be, do, and have whatever he wants. I didn't know that. I grew up being at the back of the room for so long. So now I feel like I'm trying to catch on. I'm trying to catch up. I feel like for 20 years I was mute, for 20 years I was behind the scenes, for 20 years I was in the background, and now I'm just really hurriedly trying to catch up. So to answer your question, what drives me is I I don't know if to say I'm making up for lost time. I'm not really making up for lost time per se because it's gone. But I think for me, the truth drives me, the truth of God's word, coming into a new reality, a new truth, a new light. And when you start to see things differently, you go, oh my gosh, you mean this has been available to me the whole time? You mean I could have had this life the whole time and it was just a matter of choice? Really? I got to do this. So that's part of what drives me. The coming into the light, coming into a new light drives me. And of course, wanting to leave a legacy for my son so he knows that he can be, do, and have whatever he wants. And it doesn't matter what the world sees. It really doesn't matter what the world sees. All that matters is what are you choosing in this moment? What are you deciding to be, do, and have in this moment? So hopefully that answers your question. That's what drives me. Jenny says, I feel you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I really appreciate you. For more hints, tips, manifestation, or to grab my course on journaling, go on Ehi. I'm Ade-Mabo.com. If you want to have a conversation or a free consultation with myself or Ade, I'd recommend that you go on my website and you can book. You can get a calendar link to have a conversation with him or myself, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later.